Hi guys, I would like to talk about something that has been on my mind that I've been struggling with at the moment. And this it's caused like an absence between videos, right? Because it's just something that I've been dealing with. And the thing is, I go through this issue like maybe every 6 or 7 months, and it's usually when like someone leaves my life, and it's absolutely okay that they leave my life, but it leaves me questioning what I did wrong, where I went wrong. And it's that I'm too much. And I recognise that I've got a very loud personality, and it's over years have I gotten to the point where I realise that I don't have to water myself down, that I don't have to like compartmentalise myself. And the thing is, I think a lot of people do this. They will absolutely squish themselves into a tiny little ball for others' comfort. Because, being easy to be around means like being easy to digest, right? There's no friction, there's no needs, there's no complaints. It's to be agreeable, it's to be flexible, it's to be low maintenance, it's to not be like too much for someone. And, you know, how it starts is like it's wanting to be liked, right? It's like not wanting to be difficult. That's like one of the aspects of what being liked is naturally. Well, that being said, there's so many aspects to it. There's so many aspects and so many qualities that will make you likable to a person. So, be it like mutual interest, be it humour, be it aspirations, be it I've gone blank. But you get what I'm trying to say. There's many different facets that cause you to be likable towards a person. And the thing is, right, years ago I used to have a lot of friends, and I say friends quite loosely because I wasn't truly known. I was liked, but I was never known. And I would constantly like adjust my personality between all these different friendship groups. And I sort of lost who I was. It was like a caricature, it was me, but it was never quite really me. And it comes at a cost, doesn't it? It's quite expensive. You begin to swallow your opinions, you begin to downplay your emotions, and you sort of lose track of like what you actually want, what you want out of a connection, what you want out of yourself, how you want to be perceived, and who you truly are. And there's a huge trade-off. You get external harmony with all of these people around you that love and support you. I say that again loosely because again they don't truly know you, and with that comes internal resentment, and you do begin to resent yourself. You don't have familiarity with who you are anymore, and to be easy for others is often to be hard on yourself. And the thing is, right, so real connection will include friction. Honesty creates depth. And with my friends, we don't always see eye to eye on everything. It's really funny when my friends get together and one of them is crazy into conspiracies. It's really lovely. Funny, admittedly. Love the guy. And I do sometimes think he says things to be a wind-up merchant. And it's really funny to see, like, two of my friends go head on head with arguing points on why this thing might not be true. And it's that depth that allows you to create these connections that will absolutely bloom and blossom. And I think that's why they work so well, because opposites attract, right? It's why we all work well. But the thing is, in those situations, I tend to sit and observe. I stay quiet because I don't really want to pick a side, because I find both quite intriguing. And that is another way that I compartmentalise myself, because I don't want to play devil's advocate, right? For agreeing with both sides. I bet that sounded horrible. Yeah, I don't want to like agree with both sides because I don't want to be disliked by either side for agreeing with the other. And that is a way that I compartmentalise myself still. But going back to how I used to be told that I'm too much. Now, I've heard it about like so many different aspects, but I think I'm quite loud in my character. I'm very bubbly, I suppose. I love to chat, right? I love to chat. It's non-stop. There's like a constant stream of consciousness coming out of here, which is why I do these videos, because I have the ability to talk for so long, and I love to do it, and I love to be vocal. And I'm not saying that I drown other people out in conversation, because I do try my best to listen and to have a conversation rather than talking to a wall. I think that's actually very important. Yeah, that quality can be too much for people, and that's quite unfortunate because that's one of my main qualities, right? Is that I'm quite chatty and I'm quite loud and I have so much to say and so many thoughts and feelings and complex emotions that I'd love to share. And when someone first initially told me that, I instantly switched to the opposite end of the spectrum, right? I went mute. And when I went mute, I didn't feel like myself. I ended up becoming very burnt out because it wasn't who I was. And it was like I was this little pot of just like bubbling oil and I could never fizz over. I had to stay inside the pot. And that's incredibly hard for the oil to not bubble over, right? When you've got it at high heat, it's going to keep rising and rising and rising. And to keep it down, it's impossible, right? So then I'd let off that steam when I get home and I'd become so frustrated and I'd become very self-loathing because I don't know why I let myself get to that point, right? And I had an instance over the summer where I was getting ready for dinner with my lovely friend Rebecca, and I realised I was being quite hyperactive and I was being quite loud and bouncy. And I said to her, like, do you never find me exhausting or like too much? And she said, well, how could I ever? It's why I love you. Or something along those lines. I think I'm paraphrasing, but I know that's definitely the message she was trying to convey, right? And it really stuck with me. And it really made me realise that, like, some relations will, in fact, end when you stop shrinking and compartmentalising yourself for others' comfort. And when those people pull away, other people will step closer. It was about that time that I had lost a connection with someone, I think likely for being too much. And I realised just how important and fulfilling my relationship with Rebecca was, because she made me realise that I am perfectly adequate as I am, and beyond adequate, I'm amazing as I am, and I shouldn't ever adjust myself for others' comfort, because there will be people who will meet you in the middle, you know, and they will love everything about you and cherish everything about you and all of these star qualities that you have as you are without adjusting yourself. Again, this goes back to like being liked versus being known. That girl knows me for every fibre of my being. She's seen every single angle of me. She's analysed it. She understands it and comprehends it. And I'm understood by her. And I'd like to think that I'm the same with her. You know, I'd like to think that I know a lot about that sweet lady. I'd like to think that we are very mutual in where we stand in our relationship. And around Rebecca, I'm not exhausting. And around me, she's not exhausting. And it's important that you sort of identify these relationships that you have with people, the people that will recognise you for what you are and appreciate and love you for what you are. And I sound like a broken record, but the thing is I need to drill this point into home, right? Because I feel like a lot of you are going to skip a beat. So yeah, I've had a good couple of days of just self-loathing and not recognising that I do not need to adjust for anyone. And that I am perfectly fine as I am, and I'm just not suited to other people. And you might not be suited to other people. There will be certain people in your life that you might really like and find really magnetic, but they don't feel the same about you. And that is okay. You know, you don't have to be liked by everyone. You know, you can be loved by a certain few and that be perfectly enough. You know, you don't have to have the world love you. You just need... I feel like I've heard this in some sort of rom-com. I'd probably Love Actually, now that I think about it, or something like that. I mean, it resonates though, doesn't it? The entire film did. I hate to say that I watched it for the first time this year. Either way, I'm diverting. You don't have to have the world love you. You just need your select few. And again, I'm drilling this point into home, and I also feel like I'm repeating myself a little bit. Anyway, yeah. I think after these few days of just like self-loathing, I've come to the conclusion that I am perfectly okay. And the loss that I had isn't a true loss because it wasn't suited towards me. And I'm at peace with that. You know, people do come and they go, and I'm reiterating this from previous videos, and you need to be loud. You should be loud. You should shine every single aspect, thought and feeling that you have about yourself. And I'm not saying like go be a neo-Nazi, because that's not okay. Within reason, you should be loud. You should rally for what you think is correct, and you should rally and self-advocate. You know, you should always speak for yourself and never be afraid to speak up. This is sort of turning into a TED talk, isn't it? Anyway, I'm going to conclude the video here. because again, it's getting a bit long and I've sort of just rambled. I hope the video quality is better. I've learned to cast my phone camera to my laptop, which is very cool. So that's a new little upgrade, but I do think it's kind of insane that I'm using 3 Apple devices just to record this, because I'm using my iPad to record the audio, because my phone's up there, and my laptop's here because I like the background. But yeah, I hope you all have had an amazing week since you last tuned in. I finished my lovely, lovely jumper, and I'm working on a pair of mittens for a friend and a jumper for Rebecca. So I'm still rather busy, and I'm rather busy with work. But it's been a fantastic week, other than the self-loathing. I've gotten past that. You know, I had to feel that. That's okay. But yeah, I hope you're all happy and healthy. I'm going to love and leave you. Bye.